This video was made possible by Gamersgate.com. Download games anytime, anywhere. Skip it up and that up. What I learned throughout life, not only on YouTube doing news stories, is that the truth about a matter is usually in what a person doesn't say than what they do say. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So Phil Harrison, corporate vice president of Microsoft, was talking to Edge magazine, and he said to them, "It's about the games, not the gigaflops." This is what he had to say. Every platform I've ever been involved in, somebody says, "Oh, this has got more gigaflops or more teraflops than the other one." And at the end of the day, it never really matters. It's all about having the best games and having the most impressive experiences, and clearly Xbox One has the best games. Then he gets into all the rumors going around about how the PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One. This is what he had to say on that. In the run-up to launch of a console, you're going to get slightly nuanced answers because the operating systems are not finished. The performance of the machines are not locked. And as you may be aware, we can increase CPU and GPU capability on Xbox One. So I think it's impossible to draw any conclusions from that based on pre-launched, unfinished hardware and unfinished operating systems. So Phil, you know, I'm an old dude, I'm an old man, I'm 32 years old, and you're right, you have a point. Throughout history, the most powerful console doesn't make the winner. I mean, let's go all the way back to the NES days. There was the NES and Sega Master System. I owned both as a kid, and the Sega Master System was clearly more powerful, more colors on screen. The games looked better, but what system won? The Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, Nintendo had some unethical business practices going on, but that's not what this video is about. Next generation, we have the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was a little more powerful than the Sega Genesis, but I'm not talking about those two. I'm talking about, let's think about when there was the 3DO that generation. There was the Jaguar and all these other, and the Neo Geo, all these other super powerful systems that, in theory, blew away the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. But those two, well, the Super Nintendo won that generation in terms of hardware sales, but the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo shit all over the 3DO, the Jaguar, the Neo Geo. And once again, they were the least powerful hardware of that generation. Yada, yada, yada. PS2, least powerful system. The Wii was the least powerful system. And all of them had the most hardware sales. Yeah, Phil, we get it. It's always been that way. You're right. But okay, boys and girls, now is time to put on our common sense thinking caps here. Now, if the Xbox One was more powerful than the PlayStation 4, do you not think that Microsoft would be all over that shit like white on rice, saying, not only do we have the best games, we have the superior hardware, giving you a better experience in the long run. So 5 years from now, you'll still be getting exceptional games due to our more powerful hardware. Do you not think that they would be saying that left and right, back and forth, that there will be articles all over the place talking about it, that Microsoft wouldn't be on stage and Phil Spencer wouldn't be on stage, and he would be saying, guys, we have the more powerful hardware, we give you the superior experience, and we have the best games. So let's just put on our reality thinking caps here. If they keep saying this, it's obvious that the PlayStation 4 has more powerful hardware. Come on, son. You read in between the lines, you could tell by what they're saying. And Phil, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my hands up and say, guys, I'm not a programmer. I have not developed a game. So this is an an educated opinion, let's say here. But Phil, you were saying that, okay, you know, you're reading all this stuff and the operating system isn't complete yet on both of the consoles. The specs aren't finalized and things like that. But Phil, the systems are coming out in a little over the PS4 is coming out on November 15th. And the Xbox One, I think it's November 22nd. If I'm wrong about that, this is just coming off the top of my head, and it's 4 in the morning. But they're not that far away. What else can be done at that point, Phil? What else can happen now? What are you going to magically pull that would make the Xbox One equal in power to the PS4? Come on, man. I could see if it was like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year. Okay, yeah, things could change. You could streamline some things in the code of the operating system to make the Xbox One perform better. But it's the 11th hour, buddy. The curtain's about to go up. No one's buying that. Look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'm going to stand by it. And the history proves it. The most powerful console, as far as I can remember, I don't think has ever been the winner. It's not about the power. He's right. It's about the games. And we don't know how much of a true real-world gap there'll be. I know there's articles out there with developers saying, look, we can make games significantly more powerful. I heard about the whole thing with Battlefield 4 running at 900p on the PS4 and 720p on the Xbox One. Whatever, we won't know how big the gap will be or if there'll be any gap that they'll let us see due to political reasons until the consoles are in our homes and hooked up to our TVs. But stop, Microsoft, with the BS, because like I just said, we all know if you had the more powerful system, you would be smearing it all over Sony's face, and you would make sure every single consumer knew that your system was more powerful, even if it was insignificant difference in power. Like if you got one more frame per second in Battlefield 4, you would make it into the biggest shit in the world. Don't make it like you wouldn't. Stop with the games over gigaflops crap. Come on. I think I said come on way too much in this video, but it's true. Come on, man. So what's your take on what Phil Spencer had to say? Do you think it's just damage control, or do you think he really means what he is saying? You know how I feel. Anyway, folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.